An image of terror that's horribly familiar. The attack on the Twin Towers that killed nearly 3,000 people. But less well known is the impact of all the dust, much of it highly toxic.
Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Jeff Endine suffers from coughing fits.
Uh-oh.
He was a police officer who worked at Ground Zero. And like many, he's suffering from serious respiratory problems.
The attacks of 9/11 have not stopped because they left as a weapon this dust, the contaminants, all the injuries that go on and on and on.
It's gone! It's the whole tower! It's gone!
A police helicopter filmed the moment of the onslaught. It took a while for the scale of the atrocity to sink in, and only later did the dust emerge as a threat. The police pilots flying up here that day witnessed the collapse of the Twin Towers and a great cloud of dust rising into the air to about this height or even slightly higher. Now, much of that dust just blew away, but a lot of it descended over lower Manhattan, and the American government now believes that it triggered what it calls chronic illnesses in thousands of people, a toxic legacy from a nightmare day.
Early on, I wasn't convinced that we would have chronic disease out of this. In a very short period of time, weeks after 9/11, I was totally convinced.
Most of those now suffering worked in the rubble. Some wore respirators, but many didn't. And the big question is whether the dust could prove fatal. When a detective, James Zadroga, died 5 years ago of a lung disease, the pathologist blamed the dust. Now the US government is warning that others may die for similar reasons. The city is back on its feet. New buildings are rising. But among those who worked at the scene 10 years ago, the fear is that the effect of the attacks still isn't over. David Schuckman, BBC News, New York.